Good day, everyone, and welcome to Journey of the Anointed with Mr. Buzz. I came up with a new word tonight. Twilight zonish. It's, I guess, two words. It's a term, Twilight zonish, because the world has become that. I went for a long walk, just get back. Still kind of out of breath because I was anxious to make this video because Twilight zonish, yeah. The world has become completely Twilight zonish. If you know what that means, the Twilight Zone, it's a show from way back decades ago. There's a movie too, The Twilight Zone, and when you enter the Twilight Zone, just everything goes weird. Weird supernatural things start happening. You might, just to give you an example, you could walk into a bar, have a good time there, hang out, leave, go back the next day. That bar doesn't exist. It's not even, it never did exist. But you went there the night before. That's Twilight Zonish. Okay, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That didn't happen to me, although I honestly thought it was going to. I couldn't find a place that I was at the other night, and I wouldn't have been shocked if that was the case, that it just didn't exist, but it did, and I found it eventually. But this is undeniable, what I'm about to say. I've been going for walks every single day, probably 2 months. Except when it's really severe weather. So there's been 3 days in 2 months that I didn't go, probably. Every other day, I've gone at least twice, usually 3 or 4 walks a day. If my cats are sleeping, I'm walking. That's the way it's been. And they sleep a lot. So the way it's been, this is one of the things I've had major dialogue with the Lord about. My whole life has been a very social kind of thing. I enjoy talking to people. I'm a friendly, nice guy. I get along with people well. The fact somebody's a stranger doesn't matter. I'll talk to a stranger. Absolutely. I'll make friends with a stranger. I'll make friends with just about anybody that's a good person. That's the way I am. For the last while, and I mean while, not a couple of weeks, couple of months, I mean years, the world has completely rejected me in every way. The odd person will talk to me and accept me, but most people reject and repel me instantly. Especially females. Females have rejected me so bad that it's Twilight Zonish, okay? Today, I went for a walk. And I went for a walk in a completely different world than I've been in for the last several years. I'm not kidding about that. All of a sudden, people will talk to me. People are looking at me, smiling at me. Hello. I'm talking back to them. It's like I can hardly even believe what just happened over the last 2 hours walking around this town. It was like I was me again. But it was like I was in some alternate reality for the last, I don't know how many years. The Lord did that to me. He isolated me in a way. He didn't just put me in this house and say, you're not going to have a girlfriend, you're not going to have a lot of friends, you're going to be spending most of your time alone. He made it so that everybody who saw me didn't even really see me. that I was invisible to everyone. That's literally what he did. It was very obvious on this walk that I just went on that he's beginning to lift it. So I'm going to be honest. I try not to get angry with the Lord because that doesn't go well. You don't want to get angry with the Lord. He doesn't like that, and he'll punish you. I promise he will. He's punishing me right now. I still have a sliced up lip. I'm having difficulty talking right now because of my lip. That's punishment for something I did the other day. But when I realized this, I felt a little bit angry at the Lord that he did that. Because he really isolated me. He made it so that I was invisible to the whole world. Literally invisible. And it ignored me as if it made me feel so bad about myself. I can't even explain it. I didn't know what was wrong with me. It's like there was a point where I was getting 3 showers a day because I wondered if I smelled bad. It's like, I'm not kidding about that. I'm dead serious about that. Am I missing something? Do I smell bad? Special breath things, make sure my breath is better. Why is everybody so dead set on hating me and ignoring me and pretending like I'm invisible? That's how the whole entire world treated me for a long while. For years. And I actually became used to it. Not happy with it, but used to it. And today I just took a walk. It was Twilight zonish because that was lifted. Or at least somewhat lifted. And the world went all of a sudden back to how it was before the Lord did that to me. Now, my next question for the Lord is, what did I do to deserve that? Because that was to get me to even feel any anger towards the Lord it's got to be something pretty bad. That felt really bad, so it made me feel somewhat angry at the Lord, and I hate saying it because he could punish me right this second. Don't mess with him, I'll tell you that. Don't mess with him. He'll show you who he is real fast, and he's got power that you can't imagine. You can't even understand the power he has, nor can I. But I can understand at the level where I felt his wrath already, and I don't want to feel it anymore. But he also insists on complete honesty because he can tell when you're lying anyway. That's the thing. If I'm angry at the Lord, he knows that. Before I say it or don't say it, it doesn't matter. He knows. So I'm trying to explain it the best I can, to be honest, and not experience his wrath any more than I already have. As I say, I just took a walk. The first one in years where the whole world didn't find me invisible completely. People talked to me, people smiled at me, people treated me like a regular human being for the first time in years. First time in years. And it showed me that I wasn't imagining it, that, because that's what I chalked it up to. I'm just imagining this. The whole world doesn't find me invisible. It's just, must be the energy I'm giving off, must be something I'm doing. No, that's what the Lord did. He made it so that everyone I met treated me that way. Give me a cashier in the grocery store. I could try to be friendly and nice and say hello, and she can scowl at me, doesn't want to talk to me. No matter what. I mean, I thought, literally thought I was on the other side of the gates of hell here for a while. That's how I thought. I just took a walk for 2 hours in which I was a regular person again for the first time in years. And people didn't do that. I think I had 9 or 10 or maybe 11 conversations with people. Friendly ones. People were nice to me and smiled and spoke to me, and no one's done that in years. No one's done that in years. That's true. It's true. I'm hoping the Lord will reveal to me why he did that. Why I had to... I know isolation is part of the spiritual journey, but the level of isolation that I experienced was, I think, beyond anything I've heard from anybody else. I'll just say that. I don't want to say it's excessive, because everything the Lord does is perfect. That's the first thing you have to realize. If he does it, it's perfect. It's right. You're not going to be able to see why it's right. You're going to have to just accept it's right because you know the Lord is perfect. If you try to understand it with your own brain and sort it out and make it perfect in your own brain, it's not going to get there. No. There's another level of understanding needed that you don't have. Nor do I. Do you get what I mean here? Probably hard for you to. Probably hard for anybody to. Because I'm not sure he does this to everybody. I'm wondering if I did something real bad that needed another level of atonement or something. I don't know. I didn't even realize what was happening to me until it was lifted. When it was lifted, I suddenly got it. I went, wow. What did I do? What did I do to get that? The only thing I can offer about, we don't have the human understanding to understand why the Lord would do that. The only thing I can offer is that there's eternity, which goes forever. And after I die, I know that's where I'm heading, right? This existence is pretty unimportant. If you spent 20 years suffering real bad in this existence, so what? And that's really the truth, because once you make it to eternity and eternal life, that's it forever and ever and ever and ever. You live with God, you live in paradise, right? It doesn't... So it's 20 little years down here suffering. Who cares if that's what gets you to paradise for eternity? It's the only thing I can offer that makes it kind of make sense to a human. I don't think we have a lot else we can cling to make it reconcile. But when I think of it that way, it does. So I choose to reconcile it that way. Very interesting day in my awakening. One I will definitely never forget.